Hey, what's up, Squatchers? Squatch coming back at you with another video. I know it's been a while, but you know, this project is it's been fun. Working on trucks is fun. So today we're gonna be doing an update video. Gonna show you kind of some of the problems that I've run into, some of the fixes that I've had to do. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Which, by the way, we did get it running though. It did start, did crank. I will insert video here. Nice. And so here she is in the engine bay. I've got a bunch of wiring everywhere. I did get the fan hooked up, wired in, got the injector pump wired in, got the starter wired in. I've got the thermostat wired in right here for the switch for the fan, the coolant temperature sensors down there, which is hooked up and works great with the gauge in the dash, the original cluster. The one issue I did have was when we hooked up the oil pressure gauge. We weren't getting any oil pressure readings. Oil sending unit maybe just wasn't the right one for this gauge. So I'm probably going to have to install an aftermarket gauge because there is no way to replace the original unless I get like an like a instrument cluster on eBay and, you know, have to do some finagling there. But I think I'm just going to go with an aftermarket oil gauge and turbo gauge and all that stuff eventually. But I did get a manual oil gauge, and it does have oil pressure in it, so that's nice. So that's gonna have to get fixed. I still need to wire in the tachometer, speedometer, and probably the full drive gauge. I think I'm gonna at least get that put in, so until if it's in full drive or not. So still working on the wiring, but I've got some of it pretty much in place. I just got to put some wire loom and attach some things. The other issue I had was when I went to do some research on this injection pump, I was trying to figure out if it needed a lift pump. Well, when I researched the lift pump for the 1KZs, they didn't have anything, nothing popped up. So I just assumed that the injection pump didn't need a lift pump. Wrong! That was not the case. After we started cranking on it, she had a real nice fuel knock to her and scared the crap out of me. I thought something had blown in the engine, and I had just started it up. So yeah, so back here on the back, so right back here we put an inline fuel pump, 4 to 7 psi continuous run diesel fuel pump that I installed, wired into the original fuel pump wiring over here. Got that all wired in. I welded in this little plate here, which I'm going to drill holes and get this mounted up right here. So that was one issue. After we got that fixed and she sort of started kind of running pretty good, we noticed that they had the injectors were leaking. When the injectors were put in, injectors came with like a crush ring that sat just right up under there, but the originals had this little, I can grab it, this little doohickey right here at the base of the fuel injector, this little crush ring, and the new injectors did not come with that. So a little bit of research and everybody says, oh, just use the old ones, it'll be fine. That was incorrect. So we had some leaking just right down here coming out of the threads there. So I had to get online, order some new crush rings. Got them off Denko out of Australia. Should be here in a week or two, so I'll be able to put it back together and get it running again. Let's see here. So that should take care of the fuel system, take care of all the leaks. Got the fuel pump running up in here to the fuel filter to the injection pump to the injectors. And once I get that all squared away, the fuel should be good, hopefully. Cross fingers. The other problem I had is on the power steering. Down here at the power steering, let me see if I can get the camera in here. Down here, right to that fitting right there. I searched and searched and searched and took it to a few hydraulic places. Nobody had the adapter to adapt to that fitting, to change it over to anything. So it was hard getting parts. Thanks, Rona. So I just got the closest thing that I could and welded her up and switched over to a JIC to run down to the power steering rack that I've got down in here. So I'm just gonna send her, see what happens. She wasn't leaking when she was running, so that's good. The other problem that I had is to the power steering rack, there was fittings that were in here. Oh, right here. They were in here, in these ports. There were some fittings that the rack came with. So I was trying to adapt to go into those fittings. And I took it everywhere, and everybody gave me a strange look and basically couldn't help me out. So while I had it out, I looked down in there and I was like, oh, it looks like just like a brake line, you know, where it goes in and then these go into it. And finally, when I did that, they were able to make me some lines up to get the power steering going. So I've got that hooked up, and like I said, that didn't seem to be leaking, so hopefully that works. We'll find out when I get to test run it some more. The other problem that I had is I had a different radiator in here with this electric fan. It came with a fan shroud and everything. I'll show it to you real quick. It's aluminum radiator. The problem was that this thing was just too big. I couldn't get it in there right to get the fan to sit up far enough away from the engine. I tried, as you can see here, remanufacturing it to where it would like sit in further, and tried to make that work, and it was just a no-go. It was a bad plan from the beginning. So I ended up getting this radiator. This radiator comes out of a Toyota Land Cruiser, 1970s Land Cruiser. And I bought this piece of metal from Home Depot, cut it out, made it work, bolted it all up, and I've got about a finger width of clearance, which is good enough for me. That's about, you know, that looks average size to me, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, no, it fits in there. Fan runs. I did have a problem when I originally went to start it up because I had, let's see, I had ordered this metal pipe that is like supposed to be, you know, kind of universal. You kind of bend it to whatever shape you want, but the angles from the engine to the radiator, it was like I kind of had to compress this really hard down to get it to fit, and it just had too much tension on this hose and it blew on me. So I had to get just a preformed hose from O'Reilly's that I was able to cut up and make work. So this thing is no good no more. Don't need that. So we went with just a preformed hose there, preformed hose up here that I made work. Oh, the air intake, I had to get an adapter. It's like it took me a while to figure out the sizing because it's like a 2 3/8, and they don't measure it like that. So it was a 60 millimeter, and I went up to a 3-inch. So it was a 60 to 76 millimeter, which I already have this little air filter kind of mocked up. So once I get the adapter, this thing's going to sit right here, and it's going to sit in the engine compartment real nice like. And then I'm just gonna probably either make a box or a bracket or something to hang that in there, and then the adapter will be down there, and this is gonna work great. So that's gonna be situated. Let's see what else broke. Well, so on my rack and pinion down here didn't really break, but if you notice, these tie rod ends are at a pretty good angle. I don't really like that. I think that's probably going to give me some you know, some swaying issues as far as like walking on the road and stuff. And then not only that, they're at such an angle that when they do go to push out and in, that you know, if I hit a curb or anything, it's going to put too much pressure right here at this joint, and it'll probably break or give out on me. So I'm going to redo that. I have an idea of how I'm going to remock it up and get it seated in there, a lot better. And then I'm probably going to do some like bolt-on tie rod ends to where I can bolt it to the bottom to kind of take some of that upward angle out, and that should probably fit a lot better and hold up a lot nicer. I also had an engine oil pan leak when I went to go first fill it up. I think I did a video on this not too long ago. This right here, there's a oil level sensor that's supposed to go in here. I don't have anything on my truck to hook that up to, so I just went to go block it off, and when I did, I guess I didn't seal up right, so I just went ahead and threw a bunch of JB Weld up on there, got it to quit leaking. I do have the original pan that this thing came with that I think I'm going to try to get the dent out of and eventually put it back up under there, so that way it's just one less thing that can leak on me. A lot of trial and error, you know, just kind of working with it. But you know, it's one of those things that if you do it right the first time, like, are you really learning anything? You know what I'm saying? Because I've learned a lot. But anyways, so hopefully get those injectors fixed up pretty soon. Finish getting this wiring put together. Get the bed put back on this thing. Gotta get some more body parts, because some of that stuff that came off here, like the front grille and everything, all the tabs broke off on it. So I'm gonna probably get a new grille, maybe get it blacked out and everything, and new bumper, all that good stuff, and get this thing put back together. And then the dash, when we went to go do all the wiring and instrument cluster, we kind of pulled everything out. So I'm going to put all that back together, and that's going to be pretty fun finding those bolts wherever they are. So yeah, the other thing that took me a while to figure out, let me just, guys, I'm in my 30s, so I got to make the noises. But up under here for the exhaust, it took me forever to figure out how to come off there, because you know, I got this engine offline and it didn't come with the mounting to the back of that exhaust. So I spent a long time searching and come to find out that they don't call it an exhaust coupler, it's called an exhaust collector. Yeah, so exhaust collector to a 2 1/4 inch pipe. Got that bolted up with the came with the gaskets and everything, and then I welded the 2 1/4 to come down around here, around the transmission. I put in a kind of a flex pipe, bellow pipe kind of thing, bolted it in here just in case I ever needed to take this apart and get that out of there. And then I'm going all the way back, welded all the way up to the back. Let me get, like I said, I gotta make the noises. Come around back here and show you the kind of end piece here. Right now I just kind of have it right there at the end, but my plan is to take this piece and put it right here. I custom made these little hangers and got them welded all into the original mounts and up there. But come out right down here, get a little pipe, and then I'm gonna have my tip come out something like that. So once I get the bed back on, so that way I can kind of line it up and make it look nice with the bed, I'll be able to finish that up. So, but yeah, guys, that's it. It's coming along. I've got a lot more work to do, but at least I've got it started, cranking up, running, all that good stuff. So as soon as I get this thing put back together with the injectors and everything, we'll get it started up, and I'll give you guys a better video of it running and how it sounds and all that good stuff. So all right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I sure could use some YouTube money to help finance this project. So, you know, help a squatch out, you know. But that's it for today, guys. And like I said, once I get it more put back together, we'll do a walkthrough of you know, how I kind of had to figure everything out. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.